Hi, this is Austin with Brush for Hire with another MiniWarGaming painting tutorial featuring the Grey Knight Dreadknight from Games Workshop. So here's some of the parts from the lower torso that we've already completed in previous segments. I thought we'd go ahead and put these together and just show how they look when they're all together now. For these greaves, there's just two pins that fit into two slots on the backs of these pieces of armor. There's a little bit of super glue should seal them together very nicely. On the back of the knee armor, we've got these three little spikes, and we'll just apply a little bit of glue to each one of them. And it'll set right on top of the greave armor that we put on just a second ago. And this puck up here at the top will slot right into one of the holes in the underside of the hip assembly. And rinse and repeat for the other side. And we've left the feet unattached so far because we want to make sure that it'll sit on the base normally. And seeing as we don't know what the base is going to be yet, we'll leave those open. Here are the other pieces that we've done so far for the upper torso, and we'll put those together in pretty much the same manner. So, now that we've got this assembled, let's go ahead and jump into some of these little details. We've got these lights or gems all over the Dreadknight, and we're going to apply a base coat first of 2:1 Chaos Black to Macrite Red. We just want a slightly red tinted black for the base coat. Now, we're going to come back in the bottom 3/4 with a 1:1 mixture of Chaos Black to Macrite Red. We don't want to cover up all the base coat. We want to leave it around the edges and especially up near the top. Now the bottom half will be in straight Macrite Red, no black added this time. And now we're going to come back in with a 2:1 mix of Macrite Red to Skull White. We just want a little tinge of white in this very bottom part. And now for the difficult part. We've got just Skull White, and we've thinned it enough so that just a light touch will apply the paint. We don't want it so thin that it'll run all over the place, but we also don't want it so thick that it leaves a blob on the finished product. Sometimes the paint doesn't want to take, but you just have to be very patient with this part. Now there's a few more on the front, and we'll do the same process, so just follow the previous steps. Now we're going to start on the pilot. We'll go ahead and base coat each half of him in a fairly thick coat of Bad Black. So once you get both parts of the pilot washed, this is what it should look like. Now on the upper torso, once you're completely dry, we're going to use the Reaper Tarnished Brass to coat all of the raised letters and some of the icons on his armor. And he does have a lot of raised lettering. It covers most of his pauldrons, the armor that's on his elbows, and some of his chest plate too. When you're filling in areas like this, you want to be aware of what it is that you are painting on and what colors are already present. Like with the pauldrons, the outside edges we want to leave silver, so if we're going to overlap onto any other parts, make sure that it's the heraldry shield or the tabard that's attached. These we're going to be coating in a completely different color, and it doesn't matter if we get some on those. And we're going to repeat the same process that we just did on the upper torso on the legs. Because it's going to be very difficult to color match at this point, be very careful not to overlap onto the armor. And if you do, make sure that you wipe it off quickly before it actually sets. And we're also going to get these fan type armor on each of the knees. Now onto the harness, we're going to get this book icon and both of the swords that flank it. So now with some Bad Eye Black, we're going to drop a very thick coat down into the areas in between the joints and a few selective parts on the armor. Just trying to add some layers and variation so that it's not all just one solid silver mass. With the legs, and we're going to apply the Algren Flesh Wash to all of these just like we've done in all the other parts. It's going to help them look a little more interesting and look very rich and sort of a red gold. So here, we're going to have a little bit of trouble getting these parts washed without running off onto the silver. But we're not going to worry about that right now. This is one of those situations where we will color match back to the surface color. Next time, we're going to be working on a heraldry shield, and then we will finish up the pilot, leaving only the scenic base to complete. This has been part 6 of a painting tutorial on the Grey Knight Dreadknight. Thank you for watching, please tune in for the next installment, and as always, happy wargaming.